Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and if you're new here, hello, my name is Choua, and on my channel I do updates about my life, health, food, and beauty. And today we are going to be doing a makeup inventory, and today we are doing cheek products. So everything that is blush, bronzer, and highlighters is all in this video. This is probably one of my favorite kind of category when it comes to makeup. I don't know why. I love applying it onto my face. I love watching people kind of talk about their cheek products. And cheek products are the products that I would like spend a long time at the store just looking at. I don't know why. But yeah, this is gonna be all about my cheek products. I did grow a lot in some of these subcategories, and some of these categories I feel like I did grow a little bit, but I am using a lot of. So let me know what you think about this makeup inventory series, and let's just jump right into it. We have my cream and liquid blushes. At the beginning of the year I had 4 and now I have 10. I'm gonna start with the cream blushes first. This is my AOA Studio Cheeky Miracle Blush in Peach Serenade. Very nice finish. I really like this. It's so pretty. Look at how beautiful that looks. Doesn't that just look so gorgeous? Love the finish of this. Very creamy. It stays really well on the cheeks, and I just think it's a very beautiful corally summer blush to wear. I feel like the only con for this one is that it is a little scented, and you know how there's some of those like cheaper affordable makeup where it comes with a very artificially sweet candy-like scent. This has that scent in it, so I don't really like that, but I only use a little bit of this product on the cheek anyway, so I don't really smell it. But if you just go and sniff the container itself, it does smell really sweet. So that's the only con. Otherwise, it's a very beautiful cream blush. Next is my Lucky Chick blush stick. This is in Lucky Life. This is actually a lip and cheek multi-stick. And so this is how it looks like. It is kind of marbled. This is a really good all season, all year round color in my opinion. Very nice. You can build this up to be a little bit darker, or you can blend it out to make it look very light. I have only used this on the cheeks. I haven't used this in the lips or anything like that, but this finish is very nice. I really like it. This is my Anastasia blush stick in Pink Delilah. This is very beautiful. This is in my Project 10 uses, and I feel like this shade is just so stunning. I feel it's very versatile. It's again all season, all year round shade for me. I really like the finish. Love how blendable this one is. I could put on any other blush shade on top of this and it still looks so good. This is my oldest blush stick in my collection. I think I've had this one for a year and a half to 2 years. So lastly, for the cream blush, this is my Miss Cho blush stick in The Life. I've only used this one time so far, but it is so beautiful. I feel like it's a little bit more kind of warm when it comes to pink shades, so this one is a really good one for the summertime. I originally thought this one was just gonna look exactly like my Lucky Chick one, but I'm glad to swatch it side by side and know that they're kind of different. This one is really pretty as well. I've only used this about 1 or 2 times, so I don't really know how I feel about the finish or anything yet, but so far from what I've tried, I really like this shade as well. Next are my half-caked lip fondants that I have now made them into liquid blushes. And so this one is in Bordeaux. This is a really nice dark red kind of shade. Of course, it's a lip product, so it's very pigmented, very opaque, so a little bit goes a long way. I haven't actually worn this on the cheeks yet, so I don't know how it looks like on my skin complexion, but really beautiful as a lip color, and I think this one would be really good for the fall season. Next is Theme Song. This is the one that is in my project pan right now. Really like this one as a liquid blush actually. Really beautiful to use on days that I don't want too rosy pink of a cheek, but I want a little bit of flush on the cheeks. And so this one is really good. It blends in really well with my other bronzers too. And then lastly, for the half cake, this one is the shade Low Key. This one is a little bit darker than Theme Song. I also think it's a little bit more rosy as well. So I feel like this one is going to be a really nice shade for the fall. And even in the springtime. Next is my Essence Baby Gap Blush Liquid Blush in Pinkalicious. This is a really nice formula as well. Oh my goodness, so pretty. It's a little bit more bubblegummy pink. It's very similar to the Pink Delilah shade in my Anastasia blush stick, but I feel like this one is a little bit more bright and neon-like versus this one, it's a little bit more muted and toned down. So I really like the finish of this and I really like the blend as well. Next is my What's Beauty matte liquid blush and Rose Hippity. This one is very beautiful as well. I really like this. I don't have any other liquid blush shades like this, so it's very unique in my collection and I really love the finish of this. I've worn it a couple of times and I just think it's just so flattering with any eye look, any makeup style that I'm wearing, whether it's Western or Asian styled makeup. Really beautiful. Love it. And then my last liquid blush is my Juvia's Place blush lighter in Perky Poppy Glow. I have put this in a Project 10 use as well in the past and very pigmented. A little bit goes a long way. As you can tell, there's that glow there. So beautiful. It does come off really orangey, but when you blend it on the cheeks, it looks more pink. This is going to last me forever though because it's just so pigmented. Here are my cream and liquid bronzers. I started with none and now I have 3. So this is my Essence Baby Got Bronze liquid bronzer in Sunkissed Sweetie. I wore this a couple of times and I actually really do like it. I was afraid it was gonna be too wet and dewy on the skin to the point where I won't like it. But it's actually a very beautiful finish. Love the blendability on this one and I can wear this every day, honestly, as like a light bronze, a heavy bronze. This is probably a all year round kind of product and shade for me. So I actually really like this. The reason why I purchased this is because I really like the formula when I purchased the blush, so I decided to get the bronzer and I do not regret it at all. I really like this one. This one is the Yensa Super Serum Silky Bronzy Drops. I got this in my BoxyCharm. I have not used this at all yet, so I don't even know how this is going to turn out, but let me just swatch this with you. Oh my gosh, look, it exploded or whatever. Like, I think I accidentally squeezed this, but just look at that. This is a lot. This is a lot. So it's definitely a lot lighter than the Essence one, and it's also looking a little bit more yellow and warm, but I think I'm gonna have to try this out, maybe use it to darken up some of my lighter foundations, and I will let y'all know, but I haven't used it yet, so I don't know how it is on the face. But so far, swatching it wise, it's more watery. It's not as thick as the Essence bronzer. I mean, these are drops technically. We shall see how I like this kind of product. This is my first bronzy drop kind of product in my collection, so I'll let you know if this is something that I need in my collection or whatnot. And lastly is my Essence Baby Got Bronze bronzer stick. This one is in Moon Dust. This color is more of a contour kind of shade for me because it's very cool tone, and I do use this as a contour shade and not a bronzing shade because look at how cool that is. Very cool toned. So I do use this as a contour shade, and I did purchase this shade specifically to learn how to contour. So so far I really like it. I don't swipe it on the face. I use a brush just because the size of this itself is a little bit too thick for my face, because my face shape is kind of small, and so it looks like I just, you know, got mud all over my face. So that's why I go in light-handedly with a brush instead. Really, really nice finish, really nice color. I also really like the smell of this. It smells very sweet and candy-like, but not like the AOA cheek one. This one smells very delicious. Okay, and then when it comes to my cream or liquid highlighters, I started with 4 and I still have 4. So this is my depotted Grand Glow liquid highlighter. I depotted this because I just could not get any product out of the original container anymore, so I depotted it, and this is all that's left. And very beautiful highlight. Look at that. It's so intense. Honestly, a little bit goes a long way. So, so, so beautiful. I love using this on my T-zone, like my nose and Cupid's bow. It gives me such a beautiful, natural, healthy glow. And I do also use this on the cheek. So this is all that's left of it. And then this is my Tarte Shape Tape Glow Wand in a light. I depotted this as well because the wand broke off, so there was no other way for me to take out any product if I didn't depot it. So this is how it looks like. It looks kind of concealery as a swatch, but when you mix it in or blend it into the face, it's very nice and glowy. It gives you a very light, healthy glow. It's not as intense as the Grand Glow. So this is a really nice product to mix it in with my complexion products, or if I want a more natural, glowy highlight day, I go in with this, and it gives me a really nice, rich, healthy looking glow. And then I have my iconic illuminator drops. This one is in the original shade. This is probably my oldest kind of liquid highlighter, and I only go in with a very small amount when I do use this because a little bit goes a long way. As you can tell, that was not even a drop. It was literally whatever is on the dropper. And it's so intense. Do you see that? It is so, so, so beautiful. Look at that. So it's so pretty. I love this. I feel like once I finish panning this Grand Glow highlighter, I think I might go and pan this one because I've had this one for so long. I think I've had this for at least 5 years since my college days in 2020. So definitely need to finish this up. And then this is my newest one. This is by Lucky Chick. This is the Radiant Glow Illuminizer. This is the shade. Is there a shade in this one? I don't think it has a shade name because I don't see it on the container or on the bottle. But let's just swatch it together because this is my first time actually pumping out any product because I haven't used this one yet. So let's look at how nice this one is. Oh my gosh, this one is kind of like the Tarte Glow Wand as well. This one is very lightweight, really watery. I can mix this in with foundation and whatnot too, or I could use this as a liquid highlight. So do you see that? That looks so, so, so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, once I pan the Tarte one, I can go in with this Lucky Chick one to replace that. And then once I am done with the Grand Glow, I can go in with my iconic illuminator drops, you know, to kind of substitute with those things. So I am so glad that I have these in my stash right now to really just use up and play around with, because look at that. I think these are all I need really right now. Okay, so now we are going to move on to my powder blushes and bronzers and face palettes. So we're gonna start with my face palettes first. These are face palettes that have 2 of the 3 categories, so blush, bronzer, or highlights. So for example, my Ofra Bienvenidos Miami, it has all 3 where there's the blush, highlight, and bronzer. So these I count as an actual face palette because it has more than 1 category in it versus a palette like my Juvia's Place right here where it's just blushes. So these I count them separately, if that makes sense. So these are all of my mixed face palettes. Let's just start with this one since I already talked about this a little bit. But this palette has, this palette has been untouched for quite a bit. I've only went into a few of these shades like 1 or 2 times since I brought it into my collection. And I've had this face palette in my collection for about 3 years, 2 or 3 years. So I am trying to get to know this a little bit more and see if it's like if it's a face palette that I want to keep in my collection or declutter. They're all very beautiful. This one is a little bit deep for me as a bronzer, so I may use this as a eyeshadow, or I would have to franken this with a lighter powder to make it work for my complexion. Next is this Ofra palette. This is the Midi palette Face It in medium. This one comes with 2 bronzers and 1 highlighter. This is also considered a face palette in my eyes, where there's more than 1 product in here that I can use for the face categorically. So yeah, this is a really beautiful palette as well. I use this highlight a lot ever since I put it in my Project 10 uses, and very, very beautiful, very nice for like the cheekbones. You can even use this as an inner highlight. Very, very pretty. When it comes to the bronzers here, I haven't really played with it that much. One is a little bit more matte and one is kind of shimmery, but both of these have a little bit of shimmer or like sheen to it. I don't know if I'm going to keep this entire palette or just, you know, take the highlight out and declutter the rest. So I'm not too sure, but it's still a face palette that I am willing to keep in my collection for now. So this is my Phase Zero blush and bronzer trio. This one has 2 blushes and 1 bronzer. There's a matte blush, a shimmery blush, and then a bronzer. This is a cool tone bronzer, so I mainly use it to contour, but it still works like a bronzer too if I really just wanted to bronze the face, but I mainly treat it as a contour. I don't really reach for the shimmer blush, but I have reached for the matte blush quite a lot actually, and so this might be a candidate for a Pan That Face palette project for the next coming year or so, but we shall see. I like the formula. I really like the finish. It's just I don't reach for this middle shade that much, so I'm not sure how I would want to treat this shade, just because it's too dark to be a highlight, but it's also too much of shimmer or too sheen for me to treat as just a blush alone. So I mainly use this middle shade as a blush topper. And then I have my Wander Beauty Trip for 2 here. This one doesn't need any introduction. This one is in my project pan right now. I'm really glad that I introduced this into the project pan as my first Pan That Face palette. Of course, it doesn't have a highlighter in here, which is perfectly fine. It's still considered a face palette in my eyes. But I really like the colors. I really like the finish. I'm going to be pretty sad once I pan this, but I'm also going to be super ecstatic as well, since it'll be my first time actually panning a face palette till the end. So really love this. I really like how small and compact it is, because I can actually take this with me to travel or keep it in my purse and whatnot if I need to touch up throughout the day. This is another Wander Beauty palette. This is an eye and face palette, so I consider this as like a mixed face palette because it has shadows and face products in here, or like cheek products I should say. This is a palette that I haven't used yet. I haven't played around with it. It's still untouched, but I did pull this from my BoxyCharm stash about a month or 2 ago, so still fairly new in my collection. I have my Violet Vase all-in-one face and eyeshadow palette here. This is the Pretty in Paradise one. This one is also a new palette that I pulled from my BoxyCharm stash. This has eyeshadows and it also has cheek products. You can also consider this as an eyeshadow palette too if you use this kind of stuff mainly for the eyes, but this I can see myself using it for the face and the eyes. So that's why I'm considering it as a face palette. So I started with 5 face palettes at the beginning of the year, and now I have 6 face palettes, I think. Yes. So I brought in 2 new ones from my BoxyCharm, and then this one has been sitting in my stash, in my collection for quite a while. And then these are ones that I am still just trying to figure out and work on. In my makeup inventory video that I posted in March, I did consider each of these products as its own thing, but I have realized I don't have as many face palettes as I thought. So I'm okay keeping this as its own category and panning it and finishing these up, because I'm kind of gearing towards more singular kind of products right now instead of actual face palettes. That's just my thinking right now. It's also because when I started playing with makeup at a younger age, I didn't exactly have the money to purchase singular products like the beauty content creators that I follow. So palettes were kind of the your bang for your buck kind of items where I would purchase them because you get so many different products in one thing. But now that I am gearing towards more singles and everything, I am just planning to pan these or use it up and declutter whatever that doesn't work for me, and just kind of stick with what I am preferring right now, which are singles. All right, these are all of my blushes, and when I talk about palettes, these are all blush palettes, so I am considering these as its own blushes just because as I continue my project panning journey, I may or may not repress these or franken them together to make a nice blush that is suitable for my complexion. So any palettes that have just one category in it, so blush or bronzer or highlighters, I'm going to consider each shade as its own item because they are kind of just one product in general, if that makes sense. So let's go with the palettes first. This is my e.l.f. blush palette I purchased this year. There's 4 of these shades in here. I haven't played with every single shade yet. But I do remember using these shades quite a lot growing up when I did purchase this as my go-to palette for blushes. But I haven't really played with these 2 shades. So maybe I need to put this in a project or just pull it from my collection and put it in my everyday vanity to really play with. But as of right now, I haven't played with these 2 shades yet. I've only played with these 2. And then I have my Juvia's blush palette here. This one is in volume 4. This is a very bubblegummy cotton candy pink. I didn't initially think that I would reach for any blushes like this, but I had to purchase this for dance, and so I learned to make these shades work for me, and they're actually very flattering on my complexion. I didn't think that it would be a type of pink that I would really reach for and go for, but it's actually really, really nice, especially in the spring and summertime. And then I have my Alamar Cosmetics. This is the Colorette Blush Trio. There's 3 blushes in here. This is a very nice orangey coral shade, and this one is a nice berry wine, and then this is also a very nice berry color as well. I've had this palette for about 4 or 5 years now, I think, and you can still see the embossing in this. Out of all these 3, I've used this orange shade the most. Very, very beautiful, but I'm playing with other blushes now, so I think this might have to be entered into a project for me to reach for in the summertime or fall. This is my Ofra Mini Mix palette in a Charm Your Cheeks. This one has just all blushes. Really, really beautiful. I love the different kinds of colors in here that you can use for spring, summer, fall, or all year round. And so I feel like I will probably keep this in my collection and continue to pan these. If it's a color that I don't reach for or I don't like, then I will declutter it. But as of right now, I have played with a few of these and I really like the finish of it. I did swatch some of these, and this one I kind of grazed it with my nails, so that's why it looks like that. But very, very beautiful blush palette, and I just want to get more use out of this because I have had this in my collection for about 3 years or so, and I haven't really touched any of these blushes. Now moving on to my single blushes before we do a count. This is my This is my Il Makiage Mineral Baked Blush in Bootylicious. Very, very beautiful. I would swatch everything, but I feel like this video is going to take forever if I do. But super, super pretty. Love this a lot. It is a quite older blush in my collection because I can tell it's kind of aging a little bit. Very, very beautiful. I know I just said I wouldn't swatch, but I just had to see how the shade is. But it's a baked blush, so this is probably going to take me quite a while to finish up. I haven't actually tried this on the cheeks, I don't think. Not that I remember. So still fairly new. I did bring this into my collection quite a while ago, about 6 months ago, but I just haven't played with this yet. Next is my Ciate London Marbled Light blush in Dusk. Very, very beautiful. I feel like this is a really nice all year round blush that I can use. Love the packaging. I love that it's a baked product. I have used this quite a lot since I brought it into my collection, which has been about 2 years now, I believe, and it still works really well. Love the finish of this. It's matte, but also it kind of leaves sort of like a healthy sheen to the skin, but not super highlightery. So I really like this blush. It's just unfortunate that I haven't really played with this one as much as I would like, but I really like this as an all year round blush. Next is my Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in Feisty. This is the travel size one. Very, very beautiful. I have put this in my project pan and rolled it out since I have hit pan. But this is a really old blush that I've had in my collection for about 4 to 5 years now. And I finally just panned a little bit of it. You can still see the embossing and the design in the blush still. Very, very beautiful blush. You can use this all year round. Very flattering on more like medium tanned skin. Very, very gorgeous. I don't think I need a full size of this just because this takes forever to pan, because it's just such a pigmented product. Next is my Fenty Beauty blush. What is this? My Fenty Cheeks Suede Powder Blush in Petal Popping. This is in shade 2. Really beautiful. I just recently brought this into my collection from my BoxyCharm stash about a month and a half ago. So it's a fairly new blush in my collection. And I really, really like this too. I think it's a really nice pink. It's kind of similar to what some of the blushes that I already have, but I feel like this one is a little bit more baby pink, that I can use this to pair with my Essence Baby Got Blush Pinkalicious shade. I feel like this is a close dupe to that, or like the powder version to that. So very, very beautiful. And this is also my first Fenty Beauty makeup item that I have ever tried. So I'm actually really liking it. I've used it on the cheek at least once. We shall see how I feel about this, right? But as of right now, I really like this blush. Next is my AOA Studio Cherry Blossom Powder Blush in Shude. This is a really nice powder blush to put on top of the cream AOA blush that I showed y'all. It's nice and pink and corally. Very good for the spring and summertime. Love, love, love this. And it's a really nice size pan too, where it's not gonna take too long to pan, but it's also not small enough for you to just, you know, have this around for a few months. So very nice, reasonable size for the price. Really like this blush a lot. Next is my Bare Minerals bronzer in Kiss of Rose. This is one of my darker blushes that I have in my collection. Very beautiful. I know I told y'all I'm not gonna swatch, but I just can't help myself. Very, very beautiful. As you can tell, it is a blush and a bronzer all in one. This one would be really, really great for the fall time. I really like this color, especially when I want more of a bronzy look, but I still want a blush flush on the face. Really, really like this shade. And then my last single blush product is my Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush. This one is in Goldie Cassis. This is also a purpley kind of blush, but it doesn't look as intimidating on the cheeks versus the actual packaging. And as you can tell, it comes off kind of like a grapey pink. Very, very nice and muted if you blend it out. So it looks intimidating, but it's actually a very beautiful, flattering color, especially in the colder season time. So I'm excited to get to know this a little bit more once the fall seasons come around. Really, really like this. All right, so these are all of my powder blushes. I started the year with 11 and now I have 22. So I did go up a lot in this category. But then again, I feel like a lot of these I have tried to be adventurous with it. Like for example, pop-up blushes, a bronzer, and then of course I have ones that are in my BoxyCharm that I'm just trying to get to know a little bit more. Like I feel like I don't have any other blushes like this one except this exact blush here. There are some similarities, but they're not all so similar to the point where I'm like, I don't need all of these. I feel like I can get some use out of all of these depending on the seasons and the occasion that I am wearing the blushes for. These are my powdered bronzers. I started with 11 at the beginning of the year, and now I have 13. And so I'm gonna go with my palettes first. This is my e.l.f. bronzer palette that I purchased for my cheer makeup video at the beginning of the year. I don't prefer this formula anymore. I think it's because I've experienced with other formulas that I like a little bit better. Let me just move this. And so I will continue to use this. If I don't decide to pan this in a project, then I will declutter it. But this one is still a really nice quad, and I can use these as eyeshadows if I don't want them as bronzers anymore. So I'm still going to keep this palette. This is my Ace Beauté Bronzed in Paradise. This is my other bronzer palette where it has 4 shades. I actually really like this palette a lot. Of course, this deep shade here I don't really use. I have used this one as an eyeshadow before, but not as a actual bronzer. Versus these 3, I have used it as actual bronzers on the face. So I am going to keep this because I do really like the formula. I like the finish, and I think the shade really complements my complexion. But I think for this one, I might have to lighten it up by frankening it with something else to use it up, or I would just have to use it as an eyeshadow, which is perfectly fine by me. But this is one of the other bronzer palettes that I have in my collection. And then the rest are singles. This is my AOA Perfect Bronzer Powder. This one is in Frappe. This is a matte finish, so there's no sheen at all. This one really gives me the same vibe as my e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer, except this one might be a little bit lighter. We shall see. I haven't really played with this one too much, but it is a pretty nice bronzer. It works really well on my complexion. It's light enough to where I can bronze up the face a little bit and not be too heavy-handed with it. So it's a really nice bronzed kind of shade for like a sun-kissed look. And then I have my e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer, of course. This has a pan in it already, and this one is in Forever Sun-Kissed. It's neutral enough to the point where I can wear this with warm or cool toned looks, and it looks super flattering on my skin. Really like this. I think this is my second e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer. I believe I panned one before in the past. Maybe not entirely, but enough for me to trash it and purchase another one. But I really like this formula, and I probably will go back to this after I have panned this again. Next is my Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzer Powder. This one is in Chocolate Sundae. It does smell like chocolate. This lid did break off because it came to me cracked, which is fine as long as it still covers the product and keeps it from molding and whatnot. I'm not gonna complain about it, but I have used this a couple of times since I purchased it. It is a lighter bronzer in my opinion. It is also a little bit more cool toned, so I think I might reach for this a little bit more during the fall and winter seasons just because of how cool tone it is. But I do like the finish. Really nice, especially to bronze up the forehead where I don't want to look too brown or like too tan on the forehead, but I just want enough dimension. This is a really good shade for that. And then I have my Ciate Bamboo Bronzer in Palm Island. This is in a Project 10 use right now. Really like this. This is also a lighter bronzer, so I can use this with my cream and liquid bronzers and use this as a setting powder, I guess, with it, where I don't want to deepen the shade, but I just want something to set my cream or liquids. I can go into this one. Same with my matte, my Essence matte bronzers, and with my AOA and e.l.f. But I feel like this one is a lot lighter and just a little bit more, friendly to use when it comes to using it as like a bronzer setting powder, if you get what I mean. Next is my shades by Shan. This one is their walnut bronzer from their contour palette. So this was also in my BoxyCharm, and this is my most warm yellowy kind of bronzer, and so I was debating if I wanted to keep this in my collection or declutter it, but I think I'm going to keep it for now because this does look really good, especially if I'm going to bronze up the face and wear a sundress. It makes me look like I just came back from vacation or that I'm on vacation. So I'm going to keep this and get to know it a little bit more and see how I like this kind of bronzer with a warmer tone kind of thing, if you know what I mean. I started with 3 powder highlighters and now I have 7, and this is my only highlighting palette. This is my Glowdient makeup palette by Touch and Soul. Very beautiful highlighting palette. I use these 2 lighter ones as an actual highlighter. And then I use these pinker ones in the middle as like a blush topper, and then I use this brown one as a bronzy highlight. Whenever I want more of a shimmering glowy bronze, I would top my bronzer with this, and if I want more of a shimmering glowing blush, I would top it with these, and then if I just want a glow or a highlight, then I would go in with these 2 shades. So I still consider all of them as separate highlight shades because that's what they are. I just use them on different parts of my face. I think I made the decision that since this is just all highlights and these are all basically pressed in together, they don't have separate compartments, I'm just gonna count them as together because if I do pan this, I may franken it in the future and make it into one big highlight. So I'm just gonna count this as one palette, one item. And then the rest are singles. This is my Farrah highlighter in their light collection. This is in shade Zara. Very beautiful. As you can tell, it's very crystal diamond like, and I really like this as like an intense highlight because that's what it is. Like, look at how yummy that is, where it kind of just gives you the perfect ice cold highlight in the inner corner or on the cheeks. Very beautiful. This is a newer highlight in my collection. I pulled this from my BoxyCharm stash about 2 months ago, and I've used this a couple of times already. I really like this, especially when I use cool tone eyeshadows in my looks. This one complements my look very well. This is my Give Them Lala Beauty highlighter in Showstopper. I put this one in my Project 10 uses before too. I really like this, except the con for this is that I can't open it without using a tool, so I have to go in and use my tweezer to open it. But very beautiful. I really like this as like a golden finish kind of highlight, where I usually like wearing more warm toned kind of looks. As you can tell, it's more golden. I will most likely wear this mainly in the summertime versus winter. It's a very nice highlight, but I just feel like this one is a little bit more for summer than all year round. And then this one is by Seraphine Botanicals. This is their Beaming Highlighter in Oyster. I have also put this in a Project 10 use, and I do like this highlight, but it's also not like a highlight that I feel like I would reach for all too often because it's very golden and pink. I would probably reach for this a little bit more during the summertime as well. However, I feel like this one I can use all year round if I really wanted to. I'm not too sure how I feel about this kind of shade yet, but as of right now, it's a really pretty shade. Still trying to get to know this a little bit more. Next is my AOA Studio Everglow highlighter in Twilight. This is such a beautiful highlight. The embossing itself kind of looks like they missed a few petals, which is perfectly fine. No complaints there. It's a pretty affordable product. But oh my goodness, this is a beautiful highlight. I feel like this is a highlight that I can reach for all year round. It is this one right here. Very beautiful. I love it so much. As you can tell, these highlights are so different from one another. These two are probably closer in shade than any other ones, but still it serves its own purpose. This I can reach for all the time as an inner corner or as a highlight itself, or just to top off the cheeks a little bit more if I want more dramatic highlighting looks. Next is my Aesthetica Starlight Highlighter in Cosmos. This is a sparkling rose gold highlighter. Very, very beautiful. It's very pink in the packaging, but when you do swatch it, it does have that rose gold. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that on camera, but as you can tell, very, very beautiful. I can use this as a blush topper actually, which I haven't done before, but now that I have swatched it like this, I know I can use this as a blush topper now. So very, very beautiful. I have used this as an inner corner multiple times. Very beautiful for that as well. I just need to get to know this a little bit more. I've had this in my collection for about 3 to 4 years now, and I've only put this on the face a handful of times. So I do need to give this a little bit more love. And then lastly, I have my Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This one is the Be My Light shade. This is the most subtle shade in my collection. Very, very nice, natural glow. Where am I gonna put this? You can build this up to make it look a little bit more intense, but the finish itself looks very illuminating, very smooth looking, and it doesn't look like you just put a streak of highlight on the face. It looks very glow within kind of look and finish on the face. So very, very beautiful. This is my go-to highlight for when I wear more natural makeup or like a light makeup day and I just want a glow and not really a highlight. I will go in with this one because of the natural finish it has. That is it, y'all. I hope you like this part of my makeup inventory. Let me know if you think I have way too much in this category or if you think it's a normal amount for a normal consumer when it comes to makeup. I don't know. Let me know how much you have. I would be very curious to know how many cheek products you have compared to me. But anyways, if you like this kind of video, make sure you like and subscribe. Comment down below on what you would like to see next, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!